Hello everyone and welcome back to Mashinky. We are going to work on some cargo routes today. We have our passenger trains going through, making us some money now. And so we're going to be just expanding the line, upgrading it, making sure things can flow, and hopefully not interfere with each other too much in doing so. So let's hop over into build mode, take a gander around, and see what our options are. Now, for me, for example, the most efficient route, of course, would be log to sawmill, log to sawmill, log to sawmill right here, and then sawmill to workstation or workshop, wherever that's going to be, right? Now, me personally, I think that's a little boring, you know. And plus, having these right here, that's going to really cut out traffic flow down the main line. So what I want to do is pick one specifically, and then ship that to a different location a little ways away, and then back and forth. So what I would like to do is ship logs from this spot down here in Blackburn, ship that up and over to Huddersfield, the sawmill up here. I think that would be a good thing to do. So let's go ahead and get a station out here near Huddersfield. So a nice long station. There we go. In fact, we're going to end up making a double just because eventually we're going to have a lot of logs coming through the area, and I think it would be good to have that little extra size of a platform. Now this is interesting. There's a couple ways you can do something like this, and it's simply as follows. We could do this type of simple interchange, which does work really well, you know, especially starting out. You will be able to use this quite nicely. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow any sort of entry point, exit point for these sawmills. Now, these sawmills specifically going this way. So in reality, we only need this line. So we're gonna go ahead and get rid of these because we realize that we're only really gonna go back up that direction and come from that direction. Currently, at least, you never know, things can change, and then we can make changes accordingly. And then we'll go ahead and pop, just like that. We have a double station that is hooked up to go the correct way every time at this point. Now, these trains are going to go backwards for the time being, but that's perfectly fine for our cause. So we're going to have to make a station down here now. And this station, very much the same, probably. Probably do a double station because we'll probably need 2 trains going down here. Now you'll notice this station doesn't have a second line, and that's because I wanted to do something like this. I wanted to set up a passing track here. And then with that, we can simply come down here and get this to go to the left, because it'll only ever need to go to the left because there's only one sawmill. And then once this track is installed, such as that, on either side, we can, in theory, use it as a passing lane if there's a train here. So the thing to probably do that is to add a double here, so that they're free to kind of enter this section from any direction. But if they need to, they can go around there. That might not end up working out. Might not end up working out, but we'll see. We will see how this plays out. For now, we're only going to have 1 train going up from the the lumber area up to the sawmill anyways. And then once we get the sawmill to hit the lumber, turn it into planks, we'll then return down the line over to a tool workshop. Now this tool workshop might be a little bit of a pain to get to. So we might have to mess with it a little bit here to get this to be a viable solution for us. If this is even what we really want to do, to be honest. You never kind of know until you start trying. So this tool works is a little bit up on a hill, which is kind of neat. You know, have that little terrain difference there. Always nice to build along those things. So that means we'll go ahead and get a station. A double one. It's basically a freight line at that point. And then we'll go ahead and connect these up, just like that. So they do now have a full network for our freight. Alright, we just need a train. So let's get a train. Can't get the bold one yet, because we don't have any lumber to do anything with it. So we're gonna go ahead and get some nice wagons here for logs. Alright, orders. So this one's gonna go log place up to sawmill and back. So that one is good to go. We'll grab another porter. We will grab planks this time. One. There we go. And we will give it orders to go to the sawmill over to the toolworks. Good to go. Good to go. So this is our new train. You can see the nice trailer on that thing. It looks pretty good. It's a nice log wagon there. And if we wait here just for just a second, you should hear it. Here comes the other train, which with much of the same looking type of wagon, but this one will hold planks. It'll be just a little bit different. Now currently these are kind of the max sized trains you can kind of have in our scenario. And you can also see traffic at this point is starting to become a bit of an issue. And that usually calls for more of these, because you need to start segmenting these large passing lanes a little bit to give them room to do their thing. There we go. I don't know where that log cart's going, but boy is he going there. Boy is he going there. Now we're running into the problem of traffic at this point. We have our train set up, so I'm not really necessarily worried about them. I'm more worried about keeping this flow kind of going. And what I'll probably need to do to keep this working is consider reworking the track. We have a lot of money now, and now I can care a lot more about efficiency than before. So for example, let's go ahead and rework this area. No one's up here, so I feel pretty safe doing so. Now this is also a station end, so it's pretty chill to do. Alright. So we'll just come out straight and connect up to the main line. Alright, and we'll use the far left platform as platform. Let's see, that's the leaving platform. This is going to be the arriving. You can see what I'm doing is simply doubling up almost the whole rail line at this point. Right, double tracks, one for each direction, so that they never really stop each other a whole lot. Okay. Now down here, we're just going to do a simple X, just like that. We are going to go ahead, trim these off a little bit. And that should work there. I need to wait till a train actually comes up here in a moment to see if it will. But in theory, it should. Need to add some temporary retracted signals this way too. So the way I'll know this will work is when this guy enters this section, you can see these arrows shut off. So basically no train's going to come out of here. Okay? So if there's a train here and here, they're going to stay in there. Now this train, in theory, these would change colors if there's a train in that section. You can see it did that now. This one remains green. Okay? This reopens. So basically it knows, hey, we're coming in this way. This line is clear. And so use platform 2 in this scenario. And when it goes to leave, it'll want to leave out this way. Just like that. And head on home. So that's a nice simple little switch. Nothing too complicated with that. Again, station ends, a little bit easier to do and worry about than anything else. You can also do a looping station end, which is kind of my preferred thing. Because to get rid of this bottleneck completely, it's essentially just station or station and then you output on the back side. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll output on the back side. We'll do a nice big loop. Coming back towards the station just like that. And we'll connect up just down there. Alright. Now that means both of these turn into one-ways. Same with these. We can get rid of this junction. It's completely unnecessary now. Actually, no, it's not completely unnecessary. I am just not that smart. There we go. There we go. That is the correct method there. So this line never touches the incoming traffic, and you are good to go when it comes down to this thing there. I don't know what this guy is waiting for, but I'll just tell him to ignore the next signal and hope for the best. You kind of always find out when your trains crash into each other. That's when you done screwed it up. That is definitely when you screwed it up. Okay, so at this point you can see double line is working. It's looking pretty good. We just need to fix this whole section now. So we'll go ahead, kind of clean this up a little bit, get rid of some of these really poor track layouts. Just like that. We'll have this connect pretty standard and have this connect over here very standard as well. Now the problem with this situation is that we're going to have a traffic point here and a traffic point here. They're pretty close together. I can't say that that's a good way to do things, but sometimes space is limited, and this is kind of just what you run into when you're trying to plan out your tracks. So let us go ahead and get this going. So I want both of these to be able to be used quite easily into each other. Right? You don't want to cause major headaches to make these overly complicated. So I'm doing this kind of just simple fluted, constant, going to every track kind of point there. That's a really tight turn. This one Really gentle turn. You kind of never know how they're going to play out like that. There's another tight turn coming in case they want to leave this way. And then there's another gentle going out that direction. Yeah, that's generally okay. That's doable. That's doable. And what this is going to do is allow any entry point into the station. What you could do, and I'm actually thinking in the back of my head, is like, well, that's too complicated. Let's water this down a little bit and make it far easier for our trains to kind of hopefully navigate to. Okay? So we want traffic to always be going in this way, out this way. Or vice versa, I mean. So they will only come into this track. Actually, yeah, no, that's right. Track like this. Right, so that's going to give us a nice wide spacing. This one's only going to interfere with one track. This one will interfere with two, but hopefully for not a very long period of time. And then just like that. Boom. Okay. Now you might be wondering, well, Uthris, how does the train up from here get into the station if it's on this track? Well, that's easy. It only has to do this. It gets its own entryway, very similar to that. And you may be wondering, well, Uthris, what if we want to leave and get on this track? Well, that's easy too. It's very much the same. They get their own exit port. There we go. And it's a little bit of a neater track system. You kind of have just constant kind of circle effect going around. I probably prefer it over the other kind of methods currently. Now, also, I'm probably also going to get yelled at for, Uthris, you're using too many signals. Why are you using so many signals? Would you stop it? It's not good. I beg to differ. These signals are there to hopefully manage the traffic for me. So if I set this up right, and a little bit redundant here at the start, you know, it's just going to save me headaches down the road. Now, granted, it does cost some money to do this, but it's only $2, and you know what? We're swimming in the cash. Here we go. So that fixes this whole upper section of rail. As you can see, looks very efficient. Looks far better than before. You know, it has some wider footprints to it, but it will function a lot better. A lot better. Yep. Final little switch there, just for some extra spacing. And we're going to be doing very much this whole technique along this whole main line. Make it nice and neat. There'll be some interesting solutions with these two towns. They're very close together in how these operate. I have no idea how that's going to play out in the long run, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Alright, so we are getting our first planks here. Check that out. So we're getting planks hiding out in this area now. This sawmill, we can go ahead and get an extension for it. Hopefully. Maybe not. What's the first extension? I think employee quarters for 30 planks. So we need some more stuff there. Because the traffic is really building up in this area. This whole junction thing is not super efficient at all. At all. In fact, this Station 3 might need to be updated to a dual platform just so we can have a left exit and a right exit. Not even necessarily to be used at the same time, just so we can accept cargo from either direction and people, and keep that thing moving. Same thing with Station 2. Like, we have this platform, but doesn't mean you can't just specialize each platform. Let's go ahead and get rid of that roadblock. That roadblock is a little in the wrong spot for us. And here, we'll just go ahead and adjust this a bit. As you can see, they're basically connecting to the wrong tracks from each other. Alright, so get some signals going that way. And then some signals going the other way. Very much like that. You know, I might be able to. This train is kind of in a good position to essentially change his whole route and change this and change that, and you know, I could have built this right the first time, but you know, short on money, you kind of have to just make everything work first. And then from there, you're kind of free to expand and upgrade your lines so they can actually hold this upper traffic that we're starting to get here. So we got a north kind of stop and a southern route now. And see, this train is probably going to get very confused because it's so used to being on this line that when it hits this next signal, it's going to get like turned around, be like, whoa, what is going on here? But it'll go back up, it'll go back into the station and come out the right way, and then realize, oh, well, that's easy. I know where I'm going now. And off it'll go. Now this is still a little special. And what I'll do is make a special passing lane for this station completely. Now it's gonna need me to, I think, expand out this way a little bit so that there's actually enough room for this and some of these merges that we're gonna be doing. There we go. Yeah, this is starting to get a little bit better and a little bit more final. So what I'll do is I'll simply come out here, and then I'm gonna go straight across and into that lane. This lane will come out just like that and away. So we basically make a main line separation here. We are then going to go, in fact, I'm gonna move these down. That's not a whole lot of room to work with. So we're gonna work at this bend. Just like that. And then do pretty much the same thing at this bend. Just like that. And that's good. It looks quite like a large station, but in reality it's just trying to work on the most efficient route here. So we have that exit. We have this entry. Oh boy, this is where it gets a little hard. In fact, you shouldn't worry about signals until you have all the track laid out. So we'll stop there for a second and then take a look at this. Now this forestry is only ever going up that way. Keep that in mind. So we'll let it come out. Just like that. All two spots. There we go. Now I'm thinking I don't like this. We're gonna move this a little bit. Okay. How can we get it more like, for example, this? It's in an interesting spot. Kind of just hanging off the main line here. So if we're passing on this lane, we should probably hit the farther one. And just simply have that be branched off like that. We'll let the inside be the circle here, back into a single lane at that point. And then come around like that. Let's see, it wants to leave this way. I think that'll work there. And that's pretty much the opposite, right? It's long here, short here. There we go. I think that'll work out for us for now. So this station was basically separated. It's going to be unaffected by any traffic going this way, which is ideal. Now these guys are just going to stop basically in this whole section. If there's traffic going through here, I would very much just like them to stop in this whole section. Basically let them pass and in and out, and we'll just space these a little bit. Cool. So I think that should work through there. It'll be a little iffy, but should work. So let's go ahead and speed up time a whole bunch. Now this train got turned around, like I said, on that switch back there. Go back up to the logs. And this plank one, I think got stuck because we kind of eliminated its track, so it might be a little confused. Oh yeah, 100% confusion by this log train here, but hopefully he can turn around just like that. This plank one's coming through that station nice and smooth. Yes. Soon we'll be able to get all these trains turned around, by the way. All you have to do is send them to the depot. You'll come back out facing forward, and you're good to go. So we're just going to let that guy go through there. Now this train's going to stop at this station. It's going to actually hold up the whole main line. Not ideal. Probably. But because he doesn't really have to turn off anywhere from this position, he's generally fine in keeping the rest of it clear. So there's only a little stop at station 2 for now. Log cart coming over. Finally gonna get some more logs. And if that's the case, we'll go ahead and get a Baldwin as our next cart carrying logs here. Actually, no, that's too long. That's not enough logs for the cost there. So I may have to sell that. Yeah, I didn't like that. Let's get the porter again and wagons. Like, it's a smaller train, but it can, for its size, pulls more cars, so it can actually fit into the depot. So this one is going to go up to the lumber yard, and then sawmill start. Off it goes. There we go. And we'll go ahead and end this episode by watching this train go through. Never know where the best view is on this thing. I personally, big fan of the cab. Just put me in the engine, right? Let me stick my head out the window. That train's still going backwards. This guy's waiting. Not sure on what. Let's pause for a second here. See what he's doing. He's got a green arrow. Ah, I think I know what it is. This train here doesn't have that signal after the merge point. There we go. Whenever tracks come together or separate, it's best to have a merge signal close, so that when as soon as they pass that section, they will move right on ahead. Okay, now we can go back to this view and play. There we go. It's a lovely little train. I wish you could do this in more train games. Just right up here. Okay, so we're gonna arrive. Honk a little bit. Now you'll notice that we just stopped at the other side, even though there's no trains here. And that's because the signal on the other side of the station isn't set up right. Because I'm a noob. So I simply just do that. That will never happen again. And off we go. It's winter. It's a lovely, lovely time of the year to be riding in a train. Honk a little bit. There we go. Looking good. Let's see, it's December. No, it's not December. There's no sense of time here, but judging from the snow and the way it's melting, it's actually spring. So this guy's coming out. We're about to go in with another load of logs. Just like that. Cool. I love this game. Mashinky's so good. Anyways, we collect logs. We're good there. We have to deliver timber. We have to deliver coal. So next episode, we're going to be trying to upgrade things, get coal going. And then once coal is ready and underway, we'll transition to the first upgraded age. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are enjoying the content, feel free to subscribe for more creative goodness such as this. Go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next episode.